In this video, we are going to continue looking at our measures of position, but this time instead of z-scores or percentiles, we're going to look at what is called a quartile. Quartiles are where we divide things up into 4 equal parts. The first quartile, denoted Q1, divides the bottom 25% of the data from the top 75%. Whenever I look at this, here's my data, and I take it and I break it up into 4 even parts. Here's Q1, and quartiles, that means quarters, 25%. So here's 25%. All of this is 75%. So the first quartile is equal to the 25th percentile. The second quartile divides the bottom 50% of the data from the top 50%. This is the same thing as our median. It's also called Q2. So this is 25% here, plus another 25%. All of this area right here is 50%, leaving us with 50% on the right-hand side, or the upper side. The third quartile, denoted Q3, divides the bottom 75%, so all of this, because again, this is 25%, so 25, 25, 25 gives me 75% here, from the top 25%. So each of these bars divides off an additional 25%, or another 25 percentile. So we're at 25 percentile, the 50th percentile, the 75th percentile, which is what this diagram denotes here as well. You have your smallest value, your Q1, your Q2, Q3, and your largest value. These numbers right here, these 5 numbers, are what we call a 5-number summary. These summarize our data, and there's 5 numbers. So it's the smallest data value, Q1, Q2, Q3, and our largest data value. Now, in order to find our quartiles, same with percentiles, we first arrange the data in order from smallest to largest, increasing order. Then there's 2 different ways we can find our quartiles. The first way is to find the median, which is your second quartile, and then determine the median of the lower half, which would be the Q1, and the median of the upper half, which is Q3. Another way is to find those positions that we talked about with our percentiles. So to find the Q1, that's the 25th percentile times our N. Q2 would be our 50th percentile, and Q3 is our 75th percentile. Now you'll notice that I wrote these as decimals. The only difference is usually we did 25 over 100, which gives us the exact same thing. So let's look at example 4. A Brigham Young University Idaho students, Matthew, Nathan, Mark, and Mark, collected data on the speeds of vehicles traveling through a construction zone on a state highway, where the posted speed was 25 miles per hour. The recorded speed of 14 randomly selected vehicles is given below. So we have 14 vehicles. Find and interpret the quartiles for speed in the construction zone. So the first thing that we need to do is put these in order from smallest to largest. So let's pause the video and put these in order. And if you look at them, they're actually already in order for this particular given scenario. So now I can do one of 2 things. I can find that middle term by marking off 1 for 1 and finding my median. And let's see here, I get 2 numbers. So Q2 would be 32 plus 33 divided by 2. Q2 is 32.5. Now this is one way to calculate this. Another way to find Q2 is to find the position. We want the 50th percentile, and we have 14 data values. Well, the 50th percentile times 14 gives us 7. Recall that whenever we are looking at position, if I end up with a whole number, I have to take the mean of that number and the number above it. So position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and position 8, which again gives me 32.5. So these are just different techniques of finding our Q1, Q2, and Q3. So now then, Q2 we've already found. Q1, if Q2 is here, and notice we took 32 and 33 into account, but I'm not going to cancel those out. Q2 is actually in between those. Then I'm going to mark off 1 for 1, and you'll notice that 28 is the median of my lower half. Again, the reason why I didn't mark off 32 and 33 was because they are not actually Q2. Q2 is 32.5, so it's in between there. Now let's look at the other way of finding this using our position. So Q1 is the 25th percentile, and we have 14 data values. 0.25 times 14 gives me 3.5, and I go up to the next whole number, which is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is my Q1. Now let's look at Q3. Q3 is this upper half, the median of the upper half, which I get 38. Let's look at the position the same way that we did the others, and that's going to be L is equal to, this time it's Q3, so that's 0.75. Think of quarters. I have 3 quarters, times my 14. So 0.75 times 14 gives me 10.5. I round up to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is 38. Now, if I were to write this with the 5-number summary, my lowest value is going to be 20. My Q1 is 28. Q2 is my 32.5. My Q3 is 38. And my highest value is going to be 40. Now we want to do some interpretation based on these values. So my Q1 is 28. What this means is 25% of my vehicles were going below 28 miles per hour. So we have that 25% of the vehicles were traveling 28 miles per hour or less, while 75% were going faster than 28 miles per hour. We do the exact same thing with Q2 and Q3. Just instead of 25%, we're looking at 50% and 75% at those values. So to continue with this, again, 50% of the vehicles were traveling 32.5 miles per hour or less, because remember this cuts us off at 50%, while 50% were going faster than 32.5 miles per hour. At the 38 miles per hour, 75% of the vehicles were going or were traveling 38 miles per hour or less, while 25% were going faster than 38 miles per hour. So I recommend that you go ahead and be practicing how to get quartiles, and then let me know if you have any questions.